move on to our next panel, which is the state of digital governance agriculture. So we have the pleasure of having our esteemed panelists, Dr. R.S. Huda, who is Director, Haryana Remote Sensing Application Center and the head of PMU unit from the government of Haryana. He is representing Dr. Sumita Mishra, who is Additional Chief Secretary, Agriculture. Mr. M. Raghunandan Rao, Secretary, Agriculture and Cooperation from Government of Telangana. He wears several hats. He additionally holds the post of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Jai Shankar, Telangana State Agriculture University. He is also Chairman, Telangana State Agro Industries Development Corporation and Commissioner and Director, Agriculture. He earlier served as Commissioner, Panchayati Raj and Rural Development. Dr. Venkatesh Venkataramaya, who is Commissioner, Watershed Development, Government of Karnataka. He has played an important role in signing of MOU between the Government of Karnataka and ITC, which is about execution of Watershed Development Program that covers over 1 million acres and 100 watersheds across the state. We are joined by Dr. Arjun Singh Saini, Director General, Horticulture, Department of Horticulture, Government of Haryana, who is instrumental in bringing horticulture into mainstream agribusiness in the state. Under his leadership, 11 centers of excellence were established with national and international institutions, most in any state in the country. He is credited with creating landscape for farmers and produce aggregation and map over 400 horticulture crop clusters. Under his leadership, Haryana is now fast moving towards diversification into horticulture. Dr. L. Prashanthi, Director, Research, Acharya N.G. Ranga Agricultural University from Andhra Pradesh, with more than 28 years of working experience in research and project management. She was awarded Best Research Scientist in 2006 for her notable contributions towards developing SCAR markers and RAPD markers linked to major disease resistance genes in black gram and red gram, and depositing 79 DNA sequences in NCBI gene bank. Mr. Dilip Maruti Zende, Director, Agriculture, Government of Maharashtra, with 31 years of field experience in the department at district, division, and state level. He is a known name for social action in plant protection, input, and quality control. He has extensively implemented IT tools in administrative, technical, and legal processes. Recipient of SKOCH Award in the past, he has wide expertise and authority in disaster management, which includes scarcity, drought, flood, and earthquake. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this panel. The agriculture sector has experienced buoyant growth in the past 2 years, post-COVID, basically. The sector, which is the largest employer of workforce, accounted for a sizable 18.8% of GVA of the country, registering a growth of 3.6% in 2021 and 3.9% in 21-22. Indian agriculture is no more population-driven, it is consumption-driven. Indian farmers are multi-skilled and our small farms are multifunctional. When measured in total value of agriculture production, India is ranked 4th largest in the world. To help farmers increase input and hence crop productivity, government has been providing support by subsidizing fertilizer, irrigation, electricity, and so on. Just like any other sector, technological interventions are gradually taking over the agriculture too. India is entering into a 4th industrial revolution, with the focus on digitalization, and automation. And the new technologies are being implemented into supply chain, logistics, Kisan drones, and so on and so forth. So from issues that are faced from the time of poor farm mechanization, low access to credit, prominent role of unorganized creditors, some of them still creep into the system, and the lack of awareness of technology, poor farming infrastructure, that's the flip side. So as per statistics, my first question goes to Mr. Raghunandan Rao. that as per statistics released by the United Nations, about 45% of food produced in India is lost because of inefficient supply chains. We can avoid this loss by investing in smart logistical infrastructure that transports food with the least wastage. What's your response? What's the way moving forward? How to prevent this? How to improve upon this? This same question I'm going to be taking to all the panelists before we move on to the next question. Mr. Rao. Let me take this question to Dr. Venkatesh.
So this post-harvest loss is one of the common thing that we are seeing in agriculture, particularly in horticulture, like in tomato, mango, and some of the cereals. So what is required is we need to systematically analyze the requirement of the market, and based on the market, we need to plan the inputs. And even if there is a increased production, we need to increase the shelf of the produce in terms of cold storage, construction of cold storage, construction of godowns, bringing in value addition, processing, branding into the produce by the farmer. When I was working as a collector in Haveri district, there I've seen this Badgi chili, which is one of the famous chili, is to be produced in huge quantities. So there the price used to be crashed down all of a sudden. So what we planned is, we planned for the construction of bigger cold storages. So whenever the price used to crash down, the farmers used to keep them in the cold storage, and whenever they get a remunerative price, they used to sell it. And similarly, this tomato and mangoes in Kolar district, which is one of the highest producer of tomato and mango in the entire country, there the farmers used to sell tomato for 1 rupee, and they used to put tomato on the roads. So we brought in tomato processing units so that the shelf life of tomato can be increased from 3 days to 30 days. So by putting value addition, processing and all. In a similar way, we introduced production of jams from mangoes also. So most important is bringing in more storage units, bringing in value addition and processing, and also bringing in more scientific mechanical harvesting. It can also reduce post-harvest losses. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me move over to Mr. Dilip Zinde, with your experience in the field spanning over 31 years. Have you been able to fix this problem?
Yeah, good evening, sir. It's my pleasure to be always with SKOCH Group from last 12 years. When I started particularly in this segment, input quality control in 2012. And at that time, that was a great pleasure. We are meeting virtually here, but that time we meet jointly at Delhi, and across we have very good panel discussion at the time happening. I do remember those days. But now, to your question rightly, the primary losses in agriculture happens to be at first field level. At the time of harvesting, before the harvesting, losses happens because of a number of reasons. It might be certain reasons like natural vagaries are there, natural committees are there. Later on, after harvest, there are losses because some of the perishable goods are there. And to overcome this perishable goods short life, all the time our one of panelists said that there is primary, secondary processing has to be happen there. And in Maharashtra, particularly last 20 years, we observed that soybean area is increased from last 30, it is moved from 2 lakh to 50 lakh hectare area. From 2 lakh hectare, it is in the 1919, it was 2 lakh hectare area under soybean, and in now 2022, it is 50 lakh hectare area. So soybean is very that way delicate. So to overcome the losses, so at farm level, we provided number of small interventions like providing them with them tarpaulins, having them with farm yards, and village level or block level or circle level, some small godowns available to the farmers.
That's also keeping on the supply chain, not just at the farm level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then later on in supply chain. In supply chain, it requires huge investment, and in which segment the investment happens under this primary or secondary processing. It gives value addition. Just one of our success story, just for sake of information, I'll share with you. One of our farmers producer group from our Pune district, that is from our Purandar block, has developed this Gawwa Pal, Ratnadip Gawwa Pal. And one of Kayami Bakery, very famous in Pune, making some bakeries product. And the owner used that pulp to make the Gawwa cake. And he very proudly said that as an emulsifier in bakery product, egg should be used. And this Gawwa pearl is being wedged and high in pectin gave that very signature quality and flavor and aroma to that cake, and that cake is now hot cake in Pune itself. So this kind of intervention niches has to be harnessed at first, and value addition, no doubt there is this happen in supply chain, logistic wise. Container corporations should have active roles. That happens in Nashik also. Products like grape, anar, pomegranate, tomato are being exported, and in the glut season they are being converted into puree, tomato purees by our Sahyadri FPO, where they protect the farmer interest and handholds the farmers. And in lean season they export that puree to the multinational companies at reasonable prices, and they protect the both ends. This happens in some of the cases, no doubt. Some of the good processing variety should be there. And my first hand request to everyone through this panel is that let the investment in the processing sector be happens. And post corona, this is very positive scenario that I am looking forward, and it's happening. That number of entrepreneurs, very big industry, big shots are looking to agriculture as a new area for their investment, and they are seeing growth in the agriculture in next 10 years. And particularly last week, one of my senior IS officer with his son, who is IIM graduate from Calcutta, left the multinational company's job and join in agriculture and started with some startup. And he is doing his particularly his observation is that in his team's observation is that in next 10 years agriculture will be the very good market for investment and getting the good opportunity to everyone. And it's ultimately food security is there, and this happens through all these logistic chains and storage facilities. Thank you.
Excellent inputs. From here, let me move over to a researcher, Dr. Prashanti. You are muted. Dr. Prashanti, can you hear me? You are muted.
Sorry, sir. Thank you, sir. And my opinion is to stop the storage losses and all, we have to promote the internet marketing, as some of the farmers are already initiated this one and sales through internet marketing. And one more thing is mobile services, and we want to utilize the mobile services so that we can show where the infrastructure facilities and post harvest facilities are available. And value addition of the one of the idea, for example, in sugarcane, our university has already standardized for mechanization for value added products of sugarcane juice powder, sugar granular jaggery, and juice value addition. Everything we can do with the mechanization. So adding value addition to some of the crop produce is also one of the idea for reducing the losses for storage, sir. This is my idea.
And how about improving the supply chain management system? You know, what can be done? What should be done? Because, losses are one thing which is at the farm level, but otherwise having a poor supply chain, the perishable goods are not able to reach, and the farmer is not able to get the correct price for his produce. Would you like to respond to it? Okay. I'll come back to you with the next question. In fact, Dr. R.S. Huda, who is Director, Haryana Remote Sensing Application Center, coming from the technology background. So let's invite him now and try and find out what possibly could be the solutions. Dr. Huda.
Yeah, actually, I've been involved in using the innovative technologies like geospatial technology, space technology, GIS, GPS, and all these things in agriculture, particularly in digital agriculture. Regarding supply chain management, one thing is important that we need to maintain, and the end user should be able to identify the quality of the produce. So there are innovative technologies like blockchain, wherein we can use the blockchain to identify the date stamping, where the crop was grown, what was the type of soil, what was the seed used, then where it was, how it was processed, where it was stored, at what temperature and how many days it was stored. So that a stamp can be put in at the end when it goes to the end user. Using the barcode, you put a barcode, all details of the information about the produce, starting from the seed, the soil, that is available. And sorry. So that the end user is able to know about the quality of the produce that has been made available to, and that helps the farmer to get the fair prices, reasonable prices. That, I think that's one of the better uses of the innovative technologies in supply chain management.
Sure. Dr. Saini is Director General Horticulture from the Department of Horticulture, Government of Haryana.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, it's a research survey, but we have seen is there is a loss range from 5 to 15% in case of non-perishable and 15 to 25% range in case of perishable produce. So, of course, it's a great loss as 1/4 of the total produce goes into the waste. But I see in case of non-perishable produce, the system in Haryana is very robust. We have the largest network of mandis, etc., etc. But in case of non-perishable produce, a lot more need to be done. The effective way is only to have efficient packing and efficient storage of the produce just after harvest. And second point is efficient channelizing of the produce, the market, how efficiently they can send the produce to the end consumers. These are the two main aspects of the to reduce the losses in the perishable produce. And what we have done is, as a case study, as I already told, with the identification of 400 such clusters, we have already have around 500 crore project where we are establishing around 150 such pack houses across the state in different clusters in Haryana. And the only objective is to have aggregation of produce at one place, and then supply the produce from that place to the market, directly linkage farmers with the market. And what is happening is now the different aggregators or the vendors or the companies and the like the e-commerce companies, now they are started coming in Haryana, and they have started tie up with these FPOs. This is how the efficiency in the system has been developed, and the reach of the produce to the end consumer is vastly improved. And I think this is the only way where we can, by, as one of the panelists has suggested, have heavy investment in supply chain. This is the only way in case of perishable where we can reach to the end consumers in efficient way, and a better prices to the consumers, and better income to the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me move over to Mr. Dilip Zende and ask him that when it comes to agriculture, there are arguments in favor of free agriculture markets. We've been talking about this for a very long time, but the question is how farmers will be able to participate in the commodity derivative exchanges. What is the future of futures trading of agricultural commodities like wheat and chana? And also when there was resistance from the regulator, which is SEBI. Mr. Zende.
Yeah, it's a very right now current situation. This is highly related to current scenario. Personal my feeling that in what happens in share market should happen in agriculture also. So demand and supply in agriculture is all the time highly unpredictable. So simple level, when we do budget at village level for water budget, is a one of concept we happens to be make it happen at village level in watershed management. At macro level, it happens in basin level also. But in market level, agriculture produce by number of farmers, its season wise, and its consumability far away from the production area to the urban area. These two are very distantly remoted. These are the two areas. And to make it happen, join here. The faceless transparent system should be happen. And it should be, if you are saying in the interest of farmer, first level, it should be in the interest of farmer. At the same time, it should be in the interest of consumer also. Once and otherwise, if one end is quite happy or unsatisfied, another end, either consumer will be more happy or the producer will be more happy. Under such circumstances, to make it win-win situation, future market that happened in soybean in Maharashtra should be once again reinstated. That gives good results and good impetus to farmer grow such a crops in a such a way they and productivity farmers in a such a protective condition. The protective conditions, at least he gets some of the hedging or protection from the vagaries of market, and he assures himself his risks are managed. Under such circumstances, like wheat, gram, chana, and soybean, Vaide Bazar, we call in Marathi Vaide Bazar, the future market should happen. But at the same time, interest of all sectors should be taken into account also, because one ends producer is another ends raw material. So every processor want raw material at a cheaper level, and the farmer is at a who's the producer is at the final stage. He always expects some good returns. Here is the bone of contention. So to make realistic to sense to everyone, let the digital platform be available to everyone, like share market. It should be open-ended to consumer as well as to producer. So both will get satisfied on their demand and supply basis. At the same time, no doubt, world scenarios, world market is also very aggressive. Being India a major consumer in number of segments, so they all the time are expecting Indian market or outcomes like every other country. And particularly last 2 days, because of this climate change, other countries will face more and more problem. But at India level, we are quite opportunistic, and that we are quite lucky. From Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from east to west, all over India, we have very differential agroclimatic zones, and number of crops are there. So we will certainly survive in under such circumstances with good health and good prosperity.
Thank you. Dr. Saini?
Yes, I have very different views on this. At what we have seen for the last many years, as far as horticulture is concerned, I think more than 60 to 70% trade is already happening outside the APMC market. Only 30%, less than 30% is through the market, because they are not able to hold that much of volume. The moment the volume comes, the market crash. Now what the traders or aggregator have doing for the last many years, they have started picking up the produce from the farmer field itself. Now the as we are doing is investing in infrastructure, creating clusters and developing those such pack houses. Now our ultimate aim is to develop these pack houses into the mini markets in the later stages. They will act as mini markets. Now all the facilities can be developed over there. Even the e-markets can be happen over there. I think this is the way out, where within the state we can have such even more than 400 such mini markets all over the spread all over the state, connecting to different commodities. this is the I think this is the way out. But I also see that e-commerce business maybe not that economical, because the basket size of the consumers is very low in India in comparison to other developed countries. And third, what I perceive is there is a need of a trade center actually happening, which can aggregate the major produce, where the trade can happen across the states, but at one place. Like, say for example, if we are developing in Haryana is a major terminal market, is around 500 acres land. What we have seen earlier, now after seeing the two markets, Arangis markets and the Mercamadrid market in Spain, the concept has been changed in our mind now. Now what happening in their markets is all the produce is not coming on the open, as in open conditions. It's all come in the graded way, packed way, and the predetermined orders way. Means there is no auction is happening in that markets. It's a very little, less than 10% is auctioning happening in those markets. And the same will start happening in our markets also, slowly and slowly. I think this is the way the market dynamism will change. And the aggregators, the FPO will become major aggregators as a backward integration, and they will supply directly to these trade centers, which may cater to the 3-4 states in a region. And from that state center, the retailers or the wholesale buyer will start taking their produce. I think this is what I perceive in the near future. Thank you.
Sure. Dr. Prasad, would you like to add to it? Dr. Prasanthi.
Yes, sir. Shall I add to that one? Sir, establishment of crop-specific boards like tobacco board we established, which has solved marketing and problem of credit in respect to the farmers' lab. Like that, we can also establish some crop-specific boards so that we can solve some problems. In the first question, sir, the market intervention, that is continuity supply chain, we can create. The Markfed has already introduced, and they purchased the tomato, especially when crashes occur. And market support fund of the 3,000 crores were also kept separately by the government of AP for market intervention and to purchase products without middleman, and they supply to Raitu Bazars and all, sir. So we can use some amount for the fund so that we can purchase the products which are in excess.
Dr. Venkatesh?
Sir, this is a good question, and in fact, it is a need of the hour. So the best solution for this is collectivization of small and marginal farmers in the form of farmer producer organizations, and make them more enterprised and making them more market driven, demand driven. So for what is required is, our farmers, they know how to produce, but they don't know how to market it. They're not agri entrepreneurs. They are only agri producers. So what is required is, we need to assess the demand of the market. That's one thing. Second thing is creating market access at nearby points. The farmers has to carry their produce for 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers from their produce. This is a very challenging task for the farmer. So we need to create agri marketing centers within 25 kilometers of each farmer field. And next important issue is on market intelligence. So everybody is working on supply chain, increase production. Nobody is working on market intelligence. So for this, the use of artificial intelligence, the blockchain technology is going to revolutionize the way we are practicing the agriculture. We need to streamline the supply as well as the demand side, and also increase as we already said, the shelf life of the produce, and diversifying the market and diversifying at the farm field in terms of introducing integrated farming system at the field level, and diversifying the market, like exploring multiple opportunities like e-commerce centers, exploring the export orientation. See how much we are, even though India has got the largest arable land in the world, the amount of export is very less. We have seen, in fact, we have so many NRIs in abroad. In fact, the South London is dominated by Indians. San Francisco is dominated by Indians. But who is supplying there? Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Philippines, they're supplying the commodities to the Indians also. So we need to explore such markets. So this is required, and this is a need of the hour. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Huda, this question is for you. Agriculture and sustainability has always been a major challenge. A lot of areas are rain-fed, dependent, and otherwise, a whole lot of initiatives which individually the states are taking by way of either lift irrigation or adopting newer farming technologies. So how do you see the future in context of global warming?
Yeah, actually, global warming is really a big challenge that is likely to affect the agriculture also. And recently there was a COP meeting, conference of parties meeting going on. And a lot of like Paris Agreement has been there, and there is a lot of debate between the developing and developed countries about the funding for to meet out the challenges out of the global warming. So the agriculture is also likely to be affected by global warming because there are going to be deviations in temperature, rainfall. Where there had been low rainfall, there are going to be high rainfall. Temperature is likely to rise in many areas. So how they are going to affect the agriculture? There are a lot of studies on this, and many areas, dryland agriculture is likely to be adversely affected, and crop yields are also to be affected. So in that direction, we are working on many universities and research institutions are working on resilient agriculture, basically weather resilient or climate resilient agriculture. So we have to put in, because it's a coming area in the years to come, billions of dollars are to be spent on this area, and food security is a major challenge in light of the global warming. So a lot of we need to put in a lot of funding in research and development, because still we require a lot of research and development in this area. Put in funding on doing research. What are the sustainable varieties, developing the varieties which are high temperature resistant or stress resistant varieties, which can survive in different type of climatic conditions. So basically, our research and development using the innovative technologies and like artificial intelligence, machine learning, because from the past databases we can understand the futuristic trends. That's what the AI predicts. Machine learning provide the information about the future based on the past trends. So these technologies need to be put in for doing a lot of R&D research for climate resilient agriculture, so as to make our future secure with regard to the food. Thank you.
Thank you. One last question before we end this panel. This goes for every panelist. What are the structural challenges in way of adoption of precision agriculture, which Dr. Prashanti was talking about earlier, by the Indian farmers at large? I'm talking about structural challenges and possibly a way out, if there is any. We may start with Dr. Saini.
Yeah, thank you. Now what we are saying is there is a lot of changes in the way we extension do. Earlier it was the more of a contact to contact type of extension at the farmers level. Now with this advent of this digitization, the lot more pressure would be on the how effectively we can transfer the technology to the farmers by adopting different means of these platforms. Of course, though we started with the right now with the primary with educating the farmers of creating a database of the farmers, like we have done is a one great platform like Verifasal Mira, where with the registration of the all the farmers are doing, and we are linking this platform with the e-Godavari also, so that the every farmer can be connected with the land area, and we can see what actually the farmers are having and growing their crops in their land. But at the extension level, we need to create a platform where the precision farming technology can be transferred efficiently at different clusters level. This is one way of doing the things, because now farmers are more educated as compared to they are having more digital, they are more aware of the digital technologies. I think this is the way out, the digitization of the technology, where we think we should focus more on it. Thank you.
Thank you. May I ask Dr. Venkatesh?
Sir, precision farming involves more productivity per unit area. In fact, the solid example is the use of Israel technology. In fact, we from our department, we are promoting precision farming also. The main dogma here is, so we need to train the farmers in the form of small farmer interest groups. One. Second thing is hand-holding from the time of sowing till the time of harvesting. And this involves providing and converging multiple programs like our per drop, more crop, providing them fertigation facilities, increase the mechanization, polyhouse construction, and introducing better varieties so that farmer can harvest more in a short span of time, and he can save both time, energy, and money also. And next important is automation. So if we incorporate automation in the entire process, precision farming will be more effective, and it becomes a replicable process also. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Huda?
Yeah, in fact, precision farming is one of the emerging areas wherein the new technologies, the geospatial technologies can be used, like remote sensing, satellite data, the drones, and the GIS and GPS data. Basically, in precision farming, we need to have the precise information about each and every field. And then you give the inputs as desired for each and every. Currently, we give a blanket recommendation of, okay, northern Haryana, this much of nitrogen, this much of phosphorus. But precision farming, you do a mapping. So first requirement in precision farming is to have the first requirement in precision farming is to have the digital cadastral maps. We need to digitize all the cadastral maps in every state. And that's what is going on as a first layer in the AgriStack program that is being taken up by the Ministry of Agriculture. And then using the drones like in Haryana and many other places also, using the drones, we can map the information. There are two types of drones, the imaging drones as well as the spraying type of drones. So imaging drones provide the information about the soil quality, the soil moisture, the crop type, the crop intensity, the normalized difference vegetation, that is the vigor of the crop. And based on that, you can give the inputs, precise inputs, using the GPS and GIS maps. So once you do the mapping using the variable rate applicators, you precisely spray the insecticide, pesticide, herbicide, and other even chemical fertilizer precisely where it is exactly required. So that way you save upon the environment also, because we are not excessively spraying, and you save upon the money for the farmer also. So using this emerging technology, probably precision farming is going to be come in the next few years in a big way. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Mr. Zende's connectivity proper now?
Yeah. No, I'm okay, right. So particularly precision farming from the point of view of small and marginal farmer, it's a very big challenge. To him personally, any additional investment which brings his cutting down in cost of cultivation will always help him. So in that sense, some of the farmers from Maharashtra are using very imported sensors, tools, equipments giving data for their weathers, pH, EC, and particularly glucometer, and these are the some of the tools they are using at farm level. So such handy tools, cost effective tools to a small and marginal farmer will give a good relief to them, because they have to take the sample of their soil, water, or anything and brought it to the laboratory at remote place at least 25-30 kilometers away from his field. To take the technology to his field through this cost effective tools is one of the best, and I feel so. It can do technology, anything in abroad, that happen vertical agriculture farming and in India also. At the same time, from point of view of small and marginal farmer,
Looks like he is having again poor connectivity. So let me ask Dr. Prashanti. You are the only researcher amongst all the panelists, and you are the one who first talked about it.
Yes, sir. Because
I've heard everyone speak.
Global regarding the global warming agriculture, this direct sown paddy, sir, direct seeded paddy. In our research, we have developed the technology suitable for direct seeded paddy. And now it is occupied nearly more than 10 lakh hectares, because it saves 33% of the water, and methane gas emissions can be reduced, and we can reduce cost of cultivation, and the varieties also developed from our university suitable for direct seeded paddy. So it is a win advantage for global warming situation. For the present, that is precision farming. For most of the farmers are small and marginal farmers. We can utilize the custom hiring centers through FPOs at village level, sir. That we have done from our university, that is with the approach of drone technology. There we are Kisan drones. We are also developing Pushpa 1 and Pushpa 2 are two drone technologies, and the with the remote pilot training techniques DGCA certificate, we also trained our agricultural diploma holders, and we are using them in custom hiring center. There they are and in drone pilots and co-pilots. So this we can develop a rural employment and entrepreneurship program can be encouraged in the rural areas, sir. This is the result from our research.
Well, thank you very much for these very, very valuable inputs, because that's coming straight from the field. And that's the important role that the research always plays. Policy making would be that much the poorer if you do not have inputs from research. So thank you very much for speaking on the panel. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. I extend my heartfelt thanks to every panelist for being with us and sharing your thoughts. Dr. Huda, Dr. Venkatesh, Dr. Saini, Dr. Prashanti, and Mr. Dilip Zende. Thank you very much. And